Hi, Dr. Imka here. I'm going to try to get that light out of my face. Hope everyone's having an amazing day. I will wait as it tells everyone I'm here. Hola, 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 hola. Catch the title. Belly fat is shrinking your brain. And nobody needs a small brain, you guys. Okay? So let's talk about it. Because I've had a lot of controversy lately with the Abercrombie and Fitch ad, and then another like Vogue cover or something. I don't watch any of that. It's going to be an interesting, what is it? Why? Because we're going to talk about fat. So apparently, I have these two opposing views inside myself around this. Obesity, weight loss. And I struggle. I do. As a clinician, as a woman, as somebody who helps somebody specifically dealing with mental health. Here's the thing, I'm going to say it again because it's not the well-accepted thing in Rockefeller stupid-ass Western medicine. Mental health is brain health, period. If your brain is not healthy, you don't have good thinking or emotional stability, therefore you're mentally ill, okay? If you fix your brain, most of the time, the mental illnesses that you've been diagnosed with go away. Now, you might have to teach you some skills, you might have to learn some things because you've been checked out for a few years and you missed some developmental stuff. We can teach you those things, okay? But I can't teach you anything with a super damaged, dysfunctional, inflamed, on fire, starving, toxic, whatever kind of a brain, right? So, I mean, case in point, like everyone knows post-concussive syndrome. You can have a normal person, totally fine, have a head injury, and suddenly 6 months later, post-concussion, they're suicidal all the time. If that isn't the classic example of showing you that a damage to the brain can cause a radical change in someone's psychological capability, I don't know what else is. So I don't know why we keep trying to act like it is some weird other something than just dealing with the problem is. So there's that. Well, normal physiology, let me break it down. If you have an inflamed body, and an obese body is by definition inflamed. Okay? If you make a part of your body 3, 4, 5, 10 times larger than it was designed to be, I think that's by definition, unless they change the definition of inflamed or expansion on us, because God knows maybe they have. That's by definition inflamed. Okay? So what I don't there's many things going on here. So if my thyroid gland right here, it's like a little butterfly, if it became 5 times the normal size, we all know that's a pathological thing. It gets big. It's called a goiter or whatever. So we think, ooh, shit, something must be wrong because your thyroid gland is 5 times the size of normal. What happened? Let's find out. Maybe it's a goiter. Maybe you have an iodine problem. Maybe you have a cancer. I don't know. There's something wrong. Nobody argues. Everybody agrees. If your heart becomes 5 times the size of normal, everybody knows this is a crisis. It's not supposed to get bigger. It's dangerous. This is no argument, okay? Your white body fat, that stuff you can grab and everything, right? Fat, it's fat. Okay, that's the stuff you can see. There's a bunch deeper inside. That's a whole other problem, but let's just talk about fat. Fat is an endocrine organ. It's an organ, an endocrine one. It means it gives off hormones. Your fat cells actually aren't just extra stupid things sitting around you should be ripping off and sucking off, because they make hormones and signals that are really good for you. They're actually beneficial. 2 in particular, leptin and adiponectin. We'll just talk about those for a minute. Really important. They balance your whole metabolism. They master regulate your metabolism. That stuff controls your thyroid gland. It controls how much fat you burn. And it actually is critical in controlling your cardiovascular health. Huh? Oh, who knew? It's not just some ignorant stuff. It's an organ. So, let me break it down. Let me say it again. If any of your organs become 5 times the size that they were supposed to be, we have a problem. That would be unhealthy. That by its very definition is, ooh, we should investigate because nothing in your body 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times the size of what it was built to be has normal function. It's pathological. It is damaging to you. So we want to work on that and figure out why and correct it. So why exactly are we trying to tell people that you can be healthy at any size and having your endocrine organ of fat, I don't know, blow up, I don't even know, 300, 3,000, I got to do the math. I don't really care to do that. If you're supposed to be 125 pounds and you're 425 pounds, someone do the math. That's not okay. That is not healthy. That means that everything is bigger. Let's just talk about that organ. It's just bigger than it's supposed to be. So therefore, it's clearly putting off a deranged amount of hormones. Okay? Like your thyroid would, like your pancreas would, like your ovaries or your testicles would. If a man's testicles, inside that's the endocrine gland, makes hormones. If they became 10 times the size of normal, everybody would be like, wait, what's happening to my balls? Something is wrong down there, huh? And we wouldn't be making the normal amount of testosterone. We wouldn't be making the normal amount of estrogen and progesterone out of the ovaries. We wouldn't be making the normal amount of adrenaline or cortisol out of the adrenal glands. We don't want body parts to get a whole lot bigger, especially hormone glands, which your body fat is. So this whole everything's okay and we can't, judge and say what a person's health looks like from the outside. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I 100% can tell what the labs are going to look like, for the most part, on somebody based upon certain things that I'm seeing from the outside. You can. No one's first time at the rodeo to know what a hemoglobin A1C, a fibrinogen, highly sensitive, did I say highly sensitive CRP, things like that, okay? Inflammatory markers, liver labs, fat, what their leptin's going to look like, what their adiponectin's going to look like. We know obese people have super high leptin. We know obese people have high insulin. We know they have super low adiponectin. Not rocket science, already been established, because we know what it does and we know what the body's doing. We know their cytokines are going to be higher. We know their cortisol is going to be higher. We know their inflammation is going to be higher. As you get bigger and more inflamed everywhere, you know what ends up happening? It always goes to your brain. This is why people with inflammatory bowel disease, gut problems, inflammation down here, end up with inflammation up here. You have a leaky gut, you will get a leaky brain unless you deal with it. Once you have a leaky gut, you're going to end up with a leaky liver, then you're going to end up with a leaky brain. And eventually it might leak all over, and now we're just leaky. Okay? And it's leaky, inflamed, on fire, on fire, on fire. Every single depression case I ever see involves brain inflammation. Now, there's about 5 subtypes I deal with. They have very different, they're different. I treat them differently, but inflammation is involved in all of them. The degree to which it's the primary cause, however, does vary. All right, I will give you that. And I'll tell you right now, I have never, ever seen an overweight patient without depression. I don't care what stories you're seeing on the news. It always happens because the brain gets so inflamed, and it's always going to be the case. How somebody can cover up and hide it is a different story. I'm not responsible for the mask that they present to the world. Okay? Now, the other issue I have is the size of your waist absolutely is proven through all evidence and studies to be inversely proportional to the size of your brain. That means the bigger my waist gets, the smaller my brain gets. That's how it happens. I'm sorry to be the bearer of facts and reality. Data. That's what it is. Now, I'm not name calling, this is just how it is. So if you're looking long term at protecting your brain from inflammation-based things such as depression, dementia, Parkinson's, yes, multiple sclerosis, getting scar tissue and things like that, and the always dreaded Alzheimer's disease, which we call type 3 diabetes, which is just gunky, all kinds of stuff. And we know the data on the top beta amyloid plaques is a lie. Shocker, because they're liars, okay? But it's going to shrink. You don't want small brain energy, honey. You want BBE, big brain energy, okay? That's what you want. So let's stop acting like we're living in, non-reality psychotic land, that these things are not related. You can't have organs become 5, 10, 300,000% size of what they're supposed to be without there being damage. By default definition, it's damaging. They're dysfunctional. I'm done with the argument. I'm done with the illogical stupidity in charge of the media and everybody else. Okay? There is no such thing as healthy at every size. Period. An eating disorder is an eating disorder. If you're anorexic, bulimic, and you're highly underweight and starving, that's a problem. You're not healthy at that size. You have an eating disorder and you're over here and you're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds overweight, that's an eating disorder. We have a problem. Both of them can be driven and caused by very different things. They can be driven and caused by infections, inflammation, pathology, endocrine disrupting poisons. Most of this is you're being poisoned to death and you're getting everything out of control with madness with what they're putting in the food, what they're putting in the water, and what they're putting in the injections going into you right in the hospital since day one. Don't think you aren't being controlled and manipulated right from the get-go. Okay? So, there's that. It's very frustrating for me. The bigger problem is the amount of people they've convinced now that this is okay and this is normal. And don't care and don't want to try to get healthier and don't think there's anything going on and are okay with their horrible periods, that painful depression that goes on every month because they have PCOS undiagnosed, that are okay with the fact they're going to be completely infertile, can't have children, that they're okay with just getting on all these meds for anxiety and depression and having suicidal ideation like this is normal, that they're okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to try to be real calm. I'm going to try. If you, as a grown-ass man or woman, want to live that life, that's on you. I personally think you should think a little bit deeper about the people around you that are impacted by this. I get amazed that people don't seem to want to think about a first responder coming into your house, trying to save your life, get you on a gurney, get you into a hospital, try to get you out of a fire. Do you know what a firefighter has to go through to try to get a 350-pound person out of a burning house? You know how hard that is? How many backs have been broken, discs have been herniated, guys have had to make the decision, how can they do this? Or are they going to have to leave that person and opt for the two over here because they can't get this person out? Can you imagine having to live with that for the rest of your life? People don't seem to think about that. Like, doesn't seem to, I'm going to do whatever I want. You can do my life. Okay, do whatever you want. Somebody's got to get you on a gurney, though, at some point. Well, my brother just had a heart attack the other day, a month or whatever. He's not outrageously obese. He's a little overweight, but he's 6'4", 6'4.5", 250. They had to call more paramedics. They needed 5 people to get him into the ambulance. They couldn't pick him up. That's not huge. He's not that big, actually. They couldn't get him. So it got all delayed, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine some of these other situations we're dealing with? Okay. So I think thinking about other people and like what's going to happen if they have to come in your house and find you. What if there's a fire? I mean, that's what I think about. Because somebody throw me over their shoulder and get me out. And I keep myself fit. I'm able to throw my kid over my shoulder and get him out. Right? And he's about to be 17. I can still pick his ass up, throw him over my shoulder, and get him out of the house. I'll tell you right now. Period. So I better be able to do that for my mother too. Okay? She's 70-something years old, but Mama, you better get your ass. Let's go. I want to be that. That's what I want to be strong. Why? I can get somebody out of a house, out of the fire. That's it. That's the kind of shit I think about, right? So I think other people should think about it. But we got that. So if you want to think about that, you want to think about other people, fine. But for the love of everything, start thinking about your children. Because we are setting up children to be completely metabolically disordered like at 5 years old. There's this 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids now obese. I watch them walk down my street. I watch them and I sit there and I just go, I can just see the future. I'm like, oh my God. That's the level, the insulin, leptin, adiponectin dysregulation that's happening there. Those kids are ruined for life. Their metabolism is being set up developmentally for the rest of their lives. They're going to be leptin resistant in their brain forever, insulin resistant forever, low adiponectin, super slow metabolism, and a sluggish thyroid. So they're going to blame it on, I have a slow metabolism. No, you were given a slow metabolism and destroyed by what your parents did to you. And now you're coming into me, and I got to say, we're going to have to make all these changes, and you're going to have to stay on these supplements and these things for life. Because we're going to have to work so much harder to get this remotely stabilized. But I will never, that I know of, and anybody up this far, I don't know what peptides are going to do that, get you to the point you will have a fat metabolism response, a sugar response that my body has. Because it was developed in a certain way as a child because of the way my mother handled me and forced me to take your ass outside. You're not hungry, have a glass of milk and go outside. Get out of my house. Go run, go do something. But you're not sitting in here watching the TV and playing. Get out. Goodbye. I'll see you at dinner. Lock the door. That's what it was like in 1978. Can we bring 1978 back, please? So, well, we ate a lot of red meat. A lot. My mama likes some steak. So, I'm frustrated because I want you to change your diet. I want you to get rid of the endocrine disrupting hormones. I want you to make all these changes. And all this stuff. But I also want to tell you the reality of the obesity con. Because we're not actually eating any more calories in America than we were 30 years ago. Same caloric intake. So why the hell did obesity go up 30%? So we got an obesity increase of 30%. We got a global obesity pandemic. And yet, we're not eating more calories. So it makes you wonder, like, what's in the hell, what's going on? I think it's coming from being poisoned because it's a war on your hormones. I think there's an absolute conspiratorial war, I said it, on hormones, which are the life force and strength of people. And I'm talking leptin, insulin, adiponectin, estrogen, progesterone, and I'm going to say it real big, boom, 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 testosterone, okay? Because testosterone gives you big DE and big BE. Yeah? Who's jacked? All right. So, you want to keep some people dumb and weak? You lower their testosterone. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's a real easy way to do it, okay? Real easy. You want to keep them fat? You can lower the testosterone first, whatever, right? Then we're gonna poison them with a whole bunch of toxins that mess up all the hormones. We're gonna raise leptin like crazy. Get them so then now they're hungry. They're never satisfied. And then maybe now they've got to do porn, other things. So I'm never satisfied, never happy. And then it drops their adiponectin. So now they can't burn fat. They can't do anything. So now they're just big and slow and have to eat and tired. But so now the trick is we're gonna trick them into never wanting to change it because don't worry about it because your brain is fine. You're totally healthy. Everything's fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna get diabetes. You're not gonna get your feet cut off. You're not gonna go blind. You're never going to get dementia or MS or Lou Gehrig's or anything like that. Nah, don't worry. What are you talking about? Do some yoga and be happy. And take some Prozac and some Ambien and some Zoloft and just take some Aleve on your period. And, we'll just go on the birth control pill. That'll handle all your horrible periods. Yeah. That's where we are. So, I hate talking about like kind of my easy weight loss solutions because I want people to make all these big changes. You know, I haven't used shampoo in 20 years. I haven't used deodorant in 25 years, something like that. I don't use the chemicals and the things. This stuff is just like normal to me. I'm like, oh, right, I forget you guys are all still doing that. I'm like, everyone's poisoning themselves. I knew about fluoride 25, 30 years ago. Like, oh my God, you guys are still doing that? You don't know about this yet? Oh, okay, let me tell you again. So I hate to tell you easy stuff. I hate to tell you about some of the things I can give you that would make you lose a shit ton of weight. Because it's just how it is. There's things. Don't you think all those biohackers that you see that are so pretty, don't you think they're not doing things? Because they are. Some of them are very expensive. Some of them have some of the side effects. So we're working to optimize our hormones, right? I know I got patients, they're spending $2,500 a month. About $2,500 a month for their testosterone, their growth hormone, their couple peptides. Okay? This shit ain't cheap. So I'm not going to make a video about a $2,500 monthly treatment to somebody that I would recommend to a patient. Some things you got to customize and they're private. You got to have that conversation, you know? And I hate to tell somebody that something's going to work without them doing a whole lot of change because I want them to change everything. I want you to stop eating crap. I do. Stop eating crap. Stop feeding your children crap. Stop ruining their lives because you're killing them. Because you want to give them Hot Pockets for breakfast. When did it become so hard to cook eggs? I can't even cook and I can make eggs. Just crack, butter, 3 minutes, walk around, get some water, flip them over, come back 3 minutes later, done. It's not hard. And I hate cooking. I don't know what people are doing anymore. I don't understand. Why are we having children if you can't make eggs for breakfast? And it's got to be a brownie. But I digress. Okay? But it's gotten so bad. This is where I'm at. Calories the same, obesity up 30%, something else is going on. So I know you don't know you're being poisoned. Your hormones my hormones, they're getting destroyed without us really knowing it all the time. So we are a victim in one way. We got a little bit of damn, they did this to us. Fuckers. But then you are feeding your children brownies for breakfast. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm I feel bad for you, but can you help me? So I want to, can somebody help me? So anyway, I do have a couple resources, a couple things that work. They help people lose a ton of weight without having to do a whole lot. And at this point, y'all need it. I can't watch it anymore. It's unreal. And I can't see everybody. I got a patient today. I was on the phone for 1 hour this morning with a physician, so no charge. Some people I will make an exception. I got a physician whose daughter had to be 911, went to a manic episode, is in a psych ward in Charleston. New patient referred to another doctor. I said, okay, doc, let me see what's going on. 8 o'clock in the morning. When you getting out? What's the deal? I said, okay, so let me explain to you what I do. You might not know anything about this. It's kind of weird for a physician to call it, quacky old chiropractor. Can you help my daughter with bipolar? Yeah, honey, I can. I'm explain some things to you, though, right? In that phone call, though, actually, I'm not going to finish that story. I could, but I'm not going to finish that story because it's not important, actually. I'm going to leave it alone. I've rambled long enough. This is what I'm going to do. Drop a message or whatever. Let me get you on my email list. I'll write you up a little thing of a couple things that I like. Now, there's a couple different products for weight loss that I really like. I take them. I've been taking them. You've been watching me getting jacked, watching me doing okay. There's several other things that I do. They cost a lot more money. So I'm like, I get hesitant. I'm like, this one, that one. What can people do? But I'm most concerned about the children right now. And there's one peptide I really like that I don't want children on, and I don't feel comfortable telling you guys about it. And it's $250 a month. And I like it, but I get a little bit of headaches. I have trouble sleeping. So I don't like everybody to know. I tell patients, right? But there's another one that's uber ridiculously safe, and I hate to even release it to people until I get them to change. And there's some patients on here that'll know that I'll say, okay, you continue doing this, and in 6 weeks I'll tell you. And so they keep waiting. I did it, Dr. Imka. I did it. I did this. I saw the morning sun. I had 3 meals a day. I did this. I did the cold plunging and did it. I lost 7 pounds. Or I did it. Can I have that thing now? Like, I make my patients wait. I want to see movement. I want to see change before I start accelerating it. However, some of you are never going to be able to come in to see me. You can't pay my $400 an hour rate. You can't do it. We have a long wait list. I'm going to leave it at that. That doctor, I said, get her in. She said, I want an appointment. I said, okay, look, I'm going to send you the labs and da-da-da. My manager said, you do understand your first appointment is October 13th, da-da-da-da. I said, no. You will get her in sooner. We will figure it out. This is professional courtesy. Hate to tell you, but they're going to jump the line, you guys. You get her, and we got a crisis. Okay? I have to help this. I can't help this. I got to do it right now. 22. Post-psych ward. Involuntary, right? I said, you got to make it happen. Make it happen. Work it out. Okay? So not everybody can see me. Not everybody can afford me. I don't have that much time. I'm busy. Tired, actually. Okay? Working too much because there's too many of y'all need too much help. So drop something down, and I'm going to tell you about a couple. I probably might only tell you about the one because it's the safest, and I can put kids on it. This is getting to be outrageous, y'all. This is outrageous. It's I don't know what we're going to be looking at in 20 years if we don't stop. So you got the one hand, you're getting poisoned. I'm sorry. But you got to take some responsibility. So, can we meet halfway? Let me give you something. It's going to help push your metabolism a little bit. It's going to work on balancing these hormones a little bit. All natural. Can let me help you. Let me help you. Then you need to get up and move your ass. And put down the cookies. Put down the wine. And you can join me for a trauma course or something. I'll help you. We'll do some group things. I'm trying to come up with more group cheap things. I can help you. Tell me if you want it. I'll get you on an email list. I don't want to be posting it all up on here. I don't like the easy fixes. I don't like magic bullets. But I'm seeing too much stuff. I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm telling you, when I see the comment threads and some of my friends, when they posted that Abercrombie and Fitch thing and that other the really morbidly obese people, and the women were on and on about how that is okay. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, 25-year-olds think that's okay? What has happened here? I don't want anybody hating themselves. I have spent decades, my whole career is about stopping people from self-hatred and suicide. Pretty much. That's my whole damn life. Because that was my whole damn family. So I take this shit seriously. But being okay with being sick, obese, it's like, to me, being okay with being a meth addict. I'm like, what? Like, are we for real? Like, we're just okay with this now? Like, oh, we can be a drug addict, a heroin, alcoholic. Like, okay. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Because your children are watching what you're doing and they're copying what you're doing. Their job is to look at you and model themselves. That is the neurological hardwiring. They see you doing it. They go, oh, that's successful. That's what I'm supposed to do. I do the same thing. Well, if they're all obese, I'm supposed to be obese. This is what we do. This is why we now have the first time in our history of recorded right now in this phase of whatever we're in, of this realm, shorter life expectancy for the first time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm 100% over it. And there's people I want to help in my life who are suffering from depression and being unfulfilled, and they're drugged up on psychiatric drugs, and they're obese, and they refuse to admit there's any connection between their physical body and their mental body. And if I bring it up, I'm talking about diet culture and body shaming. No, boo. I'm talking about facts and examples. It's called anatomy and physiology. It's pretty basic. Let me help you if you want it, and for them babies, because we got to put an end to this. Peace out. Drop it. Just drop it and we'll message you. I need to get you on an email. I'm just write an email. Here you go. Whatever. You ask me questions. But, okay. I should answer questions down here, but bye, y'all.